So as you all know, Roblox is getting very boring. So we need to actually spice it up a bit and just include random websites in our games, okay? But all jokes aside, this video is meant to be basically like an explanation of what HTTP service actually does, right? So look, I'm not going to explain every tiny little property. Like I'm not going to have you go from like a beginner to expert thing, on HTTP service, but I will explain to you the basics. And my goal with this video is to get you to go from like, oh, this is like weird, it's muddy, to like, oh, I get this, right? Like I want you to like be like, oh, like okay, that actually makes sense, right? So that if you wanted to pursue it, you easily could. But like I will still show you like all the functions and everything. So, make a script, very, very simple. And let's just make a variable for local, I'll call it HS for HTTP service. So game get service HTTP service. So what the service has, it only has functions, okay? So it does not have events. Where did I go? It does not have events. It just has functions. So let me actually start off with explaining quickly. Like this will be a quick explanation of what this actually is. What is HTTP? Okay. The idea with this service is that you will be able to basically send and receive data from websites. Okay. So yeah, I mean that's basically it, right? So it could be someone's website that allows data to be actually sent over, or it could be your own website which is able to send data, and I'll show you how to get data from a website and also receive data, right? Which at that point that's all up to you as the website developer. So I don't develop websites. I don't know about that. I'm just going to be going over what you as a Roblox developer can do with this service. Okay. That's kind of the idea, right? So the functions that we have are GetAsync. Did I miss one? No. Okay, we have GetAsync. We have request async, and I'll explain the difference between these two in a bit. We have what is this? Okay, we have post async. We have your URL encode, JSON decode, JSON encode, generate GUID, and we also have, oh, and that's it. Okay, yeah. So those are all the hopefully I didn't miss any of them. There's a lot of things here, bro. But okay, that's basically it. So let me start off with the very basic ones, okay? So I'll start off with the basic ones, and then we'll end off with request async, because I found that's the one that's a bit more confusing, okay? So the basic ones we have stuff like encoding, okay? In case you don't know what encoding is, it's where you take a piece of information. So like, you take some text or you take some numbers and you basically transform it into something else, right? So a very simple example of this is URL encode. What it does is if you say URL encode, so in this example, it's URL encoding this piece of text. And so if we use URL encode on this piece of text, it's going to turn the piece of text into this. So it's going to replace every single space with a percentage and a 20. And the reason it does this is because that's just like, it's like URL safe, okay? So what this basically means is, how like whenever you go on a website, you have to like type in the URL, like roblox.com or whatever. This makes it URL safe because a URL cannot have spaces. So all this does is it just takes a piece of text and it makes it so that like it's URL safe, okay? But if you're not like making your own website, you probably don't really need to use this. But again, all it does is it just changes the spaces to be this, right? We have JSON decode and JSON encode. In short, what this does is it takes a table, okay? And it encodes the table to be a JSON. So let me actually show you this. So I'm going to copy this over, okay? Sure, okay. And yeah, so what this is doing is it's, okay, it made me a new variable for the service, but that's fine. It's just creating, a table. So it has a message called success. It has info, which is another table. So it's a table inside of a table. And then there's another table inside of a table, okay? And so it's taking this table and it's encoding it, right? And so we're making this variable and we're making this variable equal to the result of this encode. So then what is this going to look like? Let's see. So if I run the game right now, message success info, later true, points this. Yeah. So it basically encodes it as a JSON. Okay. And then if we wanted to print it decoded, so decode basically just reverses that process, right? So we could say we can print JSON, and then we can print HttpService decode, or wait, yeah, JSON decode JSON, right? So here it encodes it, and here we're decoding it. So we're gonna print both. We're gonna print the encoded, and we're gonna print the decoded. Yeah. So when it's encoded, it looks like this. When it's decoded, it looks like this. Now I believe, again, I'm not a website man, you know, but what I believe this is used for is that you have to encode it for it to actually work on a website, right? Because the Roblox language is Lua, right? So the scripting language is called Lua, but what many websites don't use Lua, right? And so, for example, a table wouldn't work on a website, right? Because this is a Lua table. So what we're doing here is we're taking this piece of data and we're converting it so that it's able to work on websites, right? And then when we get the data from a website, that's when we decode it so that we can actually use it again, right? So that's kind of the idea. You encode it when you send it off, and when you get data back, you decode it before you can use it, right? So that's the idea here. And let's see what else is there. Yeah, so we have the URL encode, JSON encode. We have generate GUID, okay? And all that this does is this basically generates a random string of numbers and letters, okay? What a UUID is, or a GUID, I mean, that's basically it, right? So it's meant to be like a unique identifier. So for example, we have a bunch of these items, right? How does Roblox identify that these items are separate, right? Like, what if I add another script? How does Roblox know that, for example, if I just add 2 scripts, how does Roblox know that these 2 are different? Okay. Now, I actually don't know. I don't know what Roblox does, but what you could do is you could assign a unique number to each item, right? And so obviously, if you assign, if you're assigning numbers to items to be unique, you want those numbers to be big so that it's hard to actually replicate them, right? Because what if you have two items with the same number, right? Like then, that removes the whole point of it being unique, because you want the numbers to be unique. And the best way to randomly generate unique numbers is to just make the numbers have a lot of things in them, right? It's to add a lot of numbers, add a lot of, words, so that it's a lot harder to generate the same exact phrase twice. So if I do this, if I do generate GUID, and then here it says wrap in curly braces. I'm not sure. Oh, I think, okay, I'll just leave this as empty, right? So if I run the game, actually I'm stupid, my bad. I forgot to print it. I gotta print it because it generates it, but then we don't see it. There we go, yeah. So this will generate a random set of characters and numbers that are separated by these little dashes, right? So again, the only reason you would use these numbers is as a unique identifier when you want items to actually be unique, right? I'm sure if you're like a website developer, you know what this is, because this is only really useful for website developers. So my bad for dwelling on it for so long. Now we get into I believe that was all the simpler stuff. Yeah, okay. So now we get into the more, they're not harder, but a bit more confusing at first. We have GetAsync, and we have PostAsync. There we go. Yeah. So I'll start with GetAsync because it's easier, right? Now it has a bunch of these, different so if you do GetAsync, it's gonna ask for a URL, which a URL is something like roblox.com. That's a URL, right? I'm not too sure what these are, right? So again, that's the thing where you would have to go and explore these more advanced things yourself. But Roblox actually gives us an example piece of code, okay? Now, just to explain, what GetAsync will do is, you give it the actual, so it actually needs the website, right? So it can't get information if it doesn't know what website to get the information from. So you need to give it the website, and then once you actually, have the website, then it's going to attempt to retrieve data from that website, and it's going to get the body of the website. If you're not a website person like I am, you probably are wondering, what is the body of a website? That's a great question, okay? I'm not too sure, but from what I understand, it's like the text of the website. So Roblox gives us this amazing example, right? Which I'll copy over here. So, okay, fine. It makes, okay, fine. It makes us, the new variable for the service. It's making a variable for this website. So if I were to actually go, like, if I go to this website right now, right? So let me show you. If I go to this website, as you can see, it's just a website where, okay, my bad. It's, as you can see, it's just a website. Yeah, it has a table. So it has a thing called message, which is equal to success. It has a thing called people, which is equal to this table. And if you've ever used, tables in Roblox before, then you would know that, like, this isn't how you make a table, right? In fact, this isn't how you make a dictionary. You don't separate them with colons, you separate them with, equal signs. And again, the reason is that this is a JSON table. This isn't a Roblox Lua table. So once we actually get this, table, we would have to JSON decode it so that it works with Roblox. Because right now, even here, it says .json, right? So this is a JSON table. And so this is the body of the website. So if we were to right now, yeah, so local response, it is get async. So it gets the async of this URL. So now response is equal to whatever this get async gave us, which in this case is going to be this table. So we have the table, and then we actually decode it, So now data is equal to our decoded table. And here, once we actually have the table, now we can actually get its, like, items, right? So the table has a thing called the message, which is equal to success. So here it's checking if, the data.message, which is this, is equal to success, which it is, okay? And then it's saying there are currently data.number astronauts in space. So data.number, let's see. Yeah, so there's a thing here called number, which is equal to 7. So data.number is equal to 7. So it's going to say there are currently 7 astronauts in space. And then it's going to loop through data.people, which is this table. And then it's going to say their name and their craft. So as you can see inside the table, we have also, we have tables again. So it's a table with tables, or not a table. Wait, I'm confusing myself, bro. This whole thing is a table, and then the word people is equal to, yeah, it's equal to a table with other tables. I was correct. I don't know why but yeah, so we have name is equal to, this name, craft is equal to this craft, name is equal to this name, craft is equal to this craft. So it's looping through the big table, and then it's saying, okay, what is their name and what is their craft? So if I run this right now, oh, right, my bad. So you actually need to enable requests. You could do this by either saving your game to Roblox and then going to game settings, or you can just in the output, which if you don't have the output, then go to view and then click on, command bar. Or yeah, not the output, the command bar. So go to view, click on command bar if you don't have it, and then just say game.httpService.http enabled equal to true, and then click enter. So this will allow you to enable HTTP service without needing to actually publish your game to Roblox. And yeah, so if I run the game right now, then it should work. Yep, there we go. So there are currently 7 astronauts in space, and then it loops through, this table that's called people, and then it's saying, okay, name is on craft, so name is on craft, and then it does this for every single table within the people table. And yeah, so that's kind of the idea here. And I actually do wonder if I remove this astros.json, do they have any other tables? People in space right now, okay. And they also have the, so this is in real time, by the way, right? So these people are in space right now, so that's pretty cool. And it has another thing called ISS location now. So if I were to click on this, it has timestamp, it has message success, and it has ISS position, which has a table that has longitude and latitude. So just for example, if instead of, yeah, okay, so if instead of this website, I use the website that we just went on to, the ISS, and it does the GetAsync, it does the decode, and yeah, so if data.message is equal to success, then maybe we can print data dot, and again, in case you're confused, because I remember watching tutorials and sometimes I would like forget what the words mean. Data is this variable, right? So this variable is equal to the actual like Lua table. Oh, like the data is just equal to this table, right? Like that's it, right? So when I say data.message, it means whatever is equal to like whatever message is equal to, right? So data.message is data is the table, and then dot message is whatever message is equal to, which is success. Okay, so data.message is success, which it is. Then we can do data.timestamp. So timestamp, we can print out the timestamp, and then we can loop through ISS position because it's a table. Yeah. So we can loop through the ISS position. So for I v in data dot ISS position, I hope the underscore isn't gonna mess anything up. Do, yeah, and then we can print the I, which the I is gonna be this, and then the V is gonna be this. Okay, so IV, like so. So I actually am interested to see if this would work. Oh, it would. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so it prints out the timestamp first, and then it loops through this table, and it prints out the I, which is like the word, and then the V, which is the value of the word, which is this. And then it does it for the latitude as well. So it does it for the longitude and then the latitude. So yeah, longitude, latitude. That is pretty cool. Okay, that is pretty nice. Yeah, and you can play around with this as well. So you can look up JSON API, right? JSON APIs for testing, for example, right? So if I click here, I mean, yeah, I don't even. Again, I do not know how to use JSON APIs or whatever. Yeah, but again, you can play around with this, see if maybe you can make your own website and play around with that. But that's how you use GetAsync. Okay, it simply returns the body of the website. Yeah, and then we have. So I'll try to wrap this up because that was like the main point. We have post-async, which will post, so it will send data to the website. Okay, now again, that's only if you have the website, and then once you post the data to the website, then you can get that data on the website. You can detect whenever you get the data, and then you can do something with it. Okay, so that's only if you have a website, and again, that's not something I'm good at, so I will. Yeah, but that's the idea, right? You post async, get async is to get the data, post is to post it. That should be fairly simple. Now, request async is a bit more complicated, but what I understand from it is that it can do both. So it can both get and it can post, okay? Request async seems to be like a more complicated version of the two. So it sends an HTTP request using any HTTP method given a dictionary of information. Yeah, so it can both post and get. So it can post, and I think it can do like more stuff with it as well. And it can get data, so very similar to how we did GetAsync, but what it does differently is that GetAsync just gets the body of the website, while using request async will give us more data than just the body. So we're gonna get the body of the website, and we're gonna get other data as well. Okay, so if you need something that's like besides the body of the website, then you would use request async. But again, that's the more complicated, more, you know, technical website version, which, like I said, you know, I'm not getting into. My goal here is just to kind of make it more clear for you what this service does, which I hope I did, because I didn't know what it does, right? And now I know, so that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll make my own website someday. ByteBlock's special website with my amazing courses and merch. By the way, guys, courses in the description and the comments. Haha. A quick little plug. And yeah, so I think that is basically it. Yeah, so again, you know, leave any questions in the comments. Share this video with a friend, bro. By the way, just look. I'm just saying that, okay? Because I want to see if it makes a difference in views, okay? Because maybe it does. Who knows? Maybe you share this with like 2 friends, and you know, maybe they don't even open the video, fine. But like maybe one of them does. Maybe that's gonna give me like 10 million views tomorrow, which, you know, would be pretty cool. But yeah, we are back to basics. Thank you for watching.